Alrighty, kids, let's talk about some niche things that overstimulate me, part 2. If you guys haven't seen part 1 yet, be sure to go give that a watch because it's a trip. It's actually pretty funny, and a lot of you guys were replying in the comments, and it literally was making me laugh so hard because every single thing that you guys said overstimulated you, I've related to as well. And it's just, I don't know, there's something so validating and entertaining about hearing another person also being irked by the same things. Just a very quick disclaimer. When these things bother me, overstimulate me, whatever it is, even if I look very passionate, very irked, it doesn't mean I hate the person or situation. It doesn't mean I'm judging them. It's just, this overstimulates me. That's it. Because I oftentimes find that when you are someone that gets overstimulated easily, people tend to think that you're a very negative, judgmental person. If someone's enunciation bothers me, it doesn't mean I hate them. It just means that I am overstimulated by the way they enunciate words. I'm overstimulated. Let me be overstimulated. Anyways, let's get into it. Okay, so this first one is when you could smell someone's sit-down air. Now, what is sit-down air? It's when someone sits down next to you or near you and the suction of the air that it creates of that motion, it kind of like funnels up from their derriere area and then it kind of blows up into the wind and the wind carries it out around them and it wafts into you and you just smell. Perhaps when they've last showered, you smell maybe what they've eaten the past week. You smell the oils, the musk, or the must. You smell maybe if they haven't wiped enough or whether they need to change their pad. But sit down air. Yeah. Overstimulating, not fun, and I don't like being able to smell someone's sit down air. I will say sometimes someone's sit down air smells good because the smell that wafts up is of soap, of cleanliness, and maybe even some good smelling musk. But usually when I'm taking note of someone's sit down air, it's not a good thing. It's like I'm smelling smegma, I'm smelling cottage cheese, and I don't want to be smelling that. This next one, not everyone's going to be able to relate to, but if you have pets, especially pets with fur, you will understand what I'm saying. And it's when you see pet hair flying around in the wind. You just see it moving very slowly and maybe even beautifully. And then you're like, I swear to God, if that piece of hair lands in my food or my drink, I will scream. And you just see it. Maybe the hair is far away from you when you first see it, but as it blows a bunch of different directions, it gets closer and closer to that one small area of the entire room. That one area that you have your bowl of food and it just lands right in your food. That one place that you didn't want it to land in, it landed in. And you're like, the meal's ruined. I'm not in the mood to eat. And in fact, this whole day is just shit. Because how come out of every single surface in this room that this one piece of hair could have landed in, it landed in the one place I didn't want it to? Like, how the hell did this happen? And those moments always make me want to crash out because it's like the perfect worst thing that can happen. Like that one thing out of 1,000 that you didn't want to happen happened, and you're just like, what are the freaking odds? Like, that pisses me off so much. Okay, so this next one is when you take a deep breath or you breathe, you sigh, and then someone's automatically like, are you okay? What's wrong? What's wrong? Are you okay?
What was that?
Breathing.
And you're just like, dude, let me breathe. I'm breathing. I need oxygen. No explanation needed. It's like, can I just breathe? Can I breathe without you being hyper attuned to it needing to mean something? I've noticed that usually the people who are like that are very anxious people pleasers. And this is why I can't be around anxious people, because everything I do and don't do is being analyzed by them, and they're constantly wanting to make sure I'm okay. What ends up happening is I have to comfort them now. So like now I have to comfort them because they need to make sure I'm okay. So therefore I need to make sure they're okay. It's just a whole thing, and it's too much. Please let me breathe, and it doesn't have to mean anything. Like, I understand it's coming from a good place, but you're doing too much. Relax. We're all just breathing here. You're breathing oxygen, I'm breathing oxygen. Let us breathe oxygen together. Okay, so this next one is Perfume Talk enunciation. This one's very specific, so I will be surprised if any of you resonate with this. And if any of you do, I will be so entertained by that. Like, that would tickle me so much. But for any of you who may not have TikTok or may not be on Perfume Talk is basically a side of TikTok where a bunch of people are talking about perfumes. And I've noticed, because I've hyper-focused on perfume for the past many months, that anytime I come across a Perfume Talk video, there's a very specific way that they enunciate their words. And it pisses me off. Like, it's so overstimulating. The way that I want to describe it is an over enunciation of every syllable. I don't know what the right term is, but the S's, the T's, the B's, the M's, like every part of that word is enunciated too much. And it throws me off because it doesn't sound natural, right? And so if they were to say contrast, they would be like, contrast struggles with being in her head a lot. It literally brings me back to in elementary school when they're teaching you how to pronounce every specific letter of a word. And it's just like, it's just too much.
This is just a cold, sweet glass of slightly sweetened vanilla milk. This is citric and lightly sweet from a sheer peach note. It feels like you have just bounced into a bed of fluffy, soft sheets. The windows open, the breeze is coming in, and you're getting little hints of citrus.
And I don't know if these people on Perfume Talk do it on purpose or if it's just a tendency for people, because we're social creatures, to mirror each other. So if one person or a couple people on Perfume Talk are talking like this, everyone making Perfume Talk videos have to talk like this. Because you know how there's that influencer voice where it's like, come with me to go eat some buffalo wings at Buffalo Wild Wings. Today I got some ranch and I'm gonna dip my wings into the ranch. You know how there's that voice? I've noticed that Perfume Talkers do that too. And it's with that enunciation of over enunciating letters. And I feel like it stylistically makes sense if you think about it, because when you're describing all the notes of a perfume in a scent and how that wears and all that kind of stuff, you're talking about a lot of sensory things. So it almost makes sense that they would enunciate words so crisply to kind of match the very topic they're talking about, like all these sensory things, right?
It is just stunning. It feels like peeling a ripe orange. You smell the zest from that rind. You smell the juiciness of the orange. It's bright, it's fresh, it's invigorating. It's just incredible.
It's almost like when they're talking about the scents and the notes, it sounds like they're tasting it for some reason. This is where my synesthesia comes in. It's almost like the way they're enunciating is them tasting the smells. And that's why every single word is pronounced or enunciated so crisply.
Incense smoke and wax soft air that clings to the skin. An abandoned church at twilight. Incense smoke curling through time has stopped. The ghost of nuns whispering prayers. It's soft lily wrapped in clean musk and sheer incense. It's cool, paper white, and quietly divine. It's like a saint ablazed in her own contradictions. It's the faint of ghost and incense clinging to hair and skin. It smells like someone who's been mourning for centuries. It's stunning.
But for me as the listener, it's just too much sometimes. And some Perfume Talkers do it more than others. But every time I come across specific Perfume Talkers that over enunciate, I don't know how to describe it. It's like I get so overstimulated because every time they're saying a word, it's like my head like twitches because every time they're saying st, I'm like twitching from that, and I stop breathing because I'm like trying too hard to hear. You know how some people say sometimes I have to close my eyes to hear even more clearly? It's almost like when I'm listening to these people, I stop breathing because I'm just so tapped into the way they're enunciating, and it's too much. It almost feels like my brain is too crunchy when I'm hearing the way they're pronunciating. And for anyone out there who's in any sort of audio engineering or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. And I always feel crazy when I hone in so much on the way people pronounce words or enunciate, because everyone I usually talk about this with is like, I don't hear it. People are just talking. But for some reason, hearing people talk is one of my biggest overstimulation things. Like, a huge part of my list is just the way people enunciate words. And this is just one of the many. And I really need someone to validate me here, because I know you guys who are sensitive hearers know what I'm talking about. This next one is when someone has just washed their hands and then they touch you with their hands. It literally is so bad because people rarely fully dry their hands. I'm the type of person where if I wash my hands, I need every surface area of my hands to be dry. But most people, when they wash their hands, they kind of just messily wipe their hands off with a towel or whatever, and then they move on. And there's still like a layer of wetness on their hands, or if anything, even worse, there's like drips of water still on their hands. But when they touch you with that, like, there's something about feeling the texture of people's skin, which is already overstimulating for me. Like, please just don't touch me. But on top of it, that touch is like wet and cold. And then now I have like a layer of wetness on my skin that I could feel the wind blowing on. Like, please, for the love of God, do not touch me, especially after you've washed your hands. Please. This next one is when you're driving and you stop at a stop sign in the exact same time as another person, because it's like, who's gonna let me go? And then usually people, for the most part, are very nice about it. They usually let the other person go. But then there's that weird thing where you go and then they go at the same time, and then you stop and they stop, and it's a whole thing. Overstimulating. This next one is when you smell someone's head grease. And I've noticed that a lot of Asian people specifically have that smell of head grease that I'm talking about, because we're oily, right? A lot of Asians tend to be oily, and there's this sort of habit that you hear a lot in America, at least, where you're only supposed to wash your hair once every few days. But that rule, I feel like, doesn't apply to Asian people because we're so oily. This is why we don't wrinkle, because our skin has a lot of grease and oil. We should be washing our hair every day. So if you're Asian, please make sure you're washing your scalp every day, because if you don't, fungus will grow in your head. And I could smell that when it happens. Like, the other day I was at a store and I literally could smell this Asian lady's head grease from far away. Yeah, I really don't know how to describe it. It's like, you know that there's a layer of grease in their scalp. So if you were to stick your finger on it and swab it, you would have like a layer of dead skin cells, grease, maybe even fungus on your finger. And then it's a mixture of that smell and their musk. And it's just like, I don't know, like, please make sure you're showering. It's just a lot. Okay, so this next one is when you get flat tired, but from the front. If you don't know what being flat tired is when you're walking and someone behind you keeps stepping on your feet or your shoes and it trips you. But what annoys me even more than that is when someone does it from the front. And I think that annoys me even more because it's just illogical. Like, how are you gonna flat tire me from the front? And like, how am I, the more self-aware one, am going to do my best in avoiding you, but every single time I try to avoid you, you so happen to move exactly where I'm moving so that I run into the back of you. Like, oh my God, this annoys the fuck. I've noticed that cats do this a lot. So for any of you who have cats, do they do this to you? I've noticed that especially before going to feed my cats, they'll do this thing where they'll walk in front of you, and every time you're moving, they'll like know where to move so that they stay in front of you. It's almost like they just want you to move in a certain direction and they're hurting you. But what ends up happening is like you're walking and then you accidentally kick your cat a little bit, because every single time you try to move to avoid them, they so happen to move exactly at the right pace and the right time in order to be where your foot is going to land. And another part of this is when I'm trying to avoid stepping on my cat or kicking them, whatever, I'll like step to the side. But as soon as I step to the side, they move so fast and they end up going right under my foot, and I end up stepping on them anyways. And it's just like, oh, that annoys me so much. Like the effort and how even despite you trying not to mess up, you end up doing it anyways. And it's like, come on, dude, I'm on your team. Let me not step on you. Let me not kick you. Please just cooperate. Just, it frustrates me so much. Like, how are you going to be oblivious, but also aware enough to move exactly where I'm moving so that I end up stepping on you anyways? Like, just be oblivious or be aware. Don't be both. I got stressed out. I got so stressed out talking about that. Okay, so this next one is when someone is trying to give you instructions and you obviously aren't really understanding it, but instead of describing it in a different way so that you understand it, they just scream the same exact instructions at you louder and louder.
No, the lid. 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 The lid.
How many of you guys have dealt with this where it's like, if I didn't understand you the first time, my guy, I'm not going to understand you the second, third, fourth time just because you're screaming it at me. If anything, you make me want to just stop altogether and leave the room because you need to calm down.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Use your words, please. There's more words that you could use. Find them, find your words. It's okay. Let's figure this out together. But you don't need to be screaming at me, especially the same thing. That obviously didn't work the first time. Okay, so the last one on this list is the choo-choo train pronunciators. It's when people pronounce a lot of words that have the letter T in the beginning of it as a CH. So instead of a T, they say a ch. So instead of saying 21, they say 21. Or instead of saying Tuesday, they'll say Tuesday.
In 2025.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Please, someone, please tell me you know what I'm talking about. So someone will say Tuesdays, $20, July 12th.
But then it turned into
A twisted horror fantasy.
Or sometimes you even get it in words that start with a D. So instead of during, they'll say during, churing, during. I don't know. But just that specific way of pronouncing words irks me. And this one's actually very common. I hear this very regularly. Just people saying Tuesdays, 21. Anyways, you guys, I hope this has been as entertaining for you as it was for me to make this. It's always so therapeutic for me to just get it off my chest because these are things that I will stick way too long on when it happens in real life. So being able to express it in the safety of my channel and in the safety of other people being able to understand it, it's so vindicating in a weird way. Let me know some niche things that overstimulate you. I had such a blast reading it last time. Be sure to take some time today to regulate yourselves, especially after watching this video, because I know we need it. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.